Small airplanes typically suck. They're cramped and loud, and there's no space for your bag. But this new regional jet could change all that. Let's try the new E2 version of the Embraer E195. I will cover the top 3 features that make this aircraft special. This trip starts in Stockholm, Sweden, specifically Stockholm Arlanda Airport. It is Sweden's busiest airport, located far north of the city. We're flying to Zurich, Switzerland, a flight of around 2 hours. The flight is sold by Swiss International Airlines, but it's operated by another Swiss company, Helvetic Airways. They are flying this route on behalf of Swiss on their Embraer E195 E2. That's the new plane. I'll start going through the 3 features of the E2 variant that I mentioned as we navigate through Stockholm Arlanda Airport. One of the best things about Stockholm Arlanda Airport is the security screening system. You don't have to remove your liquids, your shoes, your laptops, anything like that. Everything just goes in the bin. Let's go through the security checkpoint now. The terminal has received a significant facelift in the last couple of years. The new areas look great. There are a lot more shops and dining options right after security. Some work still remains though. The original Embraer E-Jet sold well. If you took a regional flight in the last 2 decades, chances are it was on an Embraer E-Jet. The E175 and the E190 were particularly popular models from this Brazilian aircraft manufacturer. The next generation from Embraer was called the E-Jet E2, and that's what we're flying today. The number 1 feature of the E2 is that it has new engines. It uses the Pratt & Whitney PW1900 Golf. These engines are significantly more efficient than previous models, which means that they burn less fuel. As a result, they cost less to run, emit less pollution, and are quieter. This video, by the way, is not sponsored by anyone. I paid for this trip myself so that you get an authentic travel experience. Welcome to my channel, Markus Travels. The second main feature of the E2 series is the cabin. Helvetic Airways uses an all-economy cabin in a 2+2 layout. The first several rows are so-called European business class, with 1 seat blocked. And you can see the bottle of water and the wet wipe on the armrest. These are also the only seats that get a headrest cover. That's an odd choice. Nonetheless, the cabin looks good. The grey design feels fresh and clean. I like the contrast with the carpet. I think this is actually the first time I've ever paid attention to how the floor looks on an aircraft. Good choice, Helvetic. Welcome aboard this Swiss flight over to Zurich, operated today by Helvetic Airways on board an Embraer E195 E2. I changed over to 33 Foxtrot instead so that I have a free seat here on my left-hand side. In the ceiling we have an air vent, but I guess it's only 1 per pair of seats, so you don't have an individual vent. The LED light strip looks modern. Because this flight is operated for Swiss, all of the literature is Swiss except for the safety card, which is Helvetic Airways. The leg space is tight. This is a dense seating configuration. We have coat hooks on the side of the seat. The third feature of the Embraer E195 E2 is the characteristic whale sound that the engines make. Listen to this. It's not a defect, it's not a safety issue, it just sounds weird. We'll see another example soon. The storage situation is what you'd expect from a regional jet, namely not great. The overhead bins are small. One of the competitors of the Embraer E195 E2 is the excellent Airbus A220. One aspect that the Airbus easily wins is that it has full-sized overhead bins. On the other hand, one area where this new cabin of the E195 E2 stands out is that there are power ports. and they are even conveniently located in front, this is great design. And it's not something you would expect on a regional jet. Definitely points to the E2 and to Helvetic Airways for choosing this configuration. A short sidebar here on Helvetic Airways. I know Helvetic is another way of saying Swiss. Helvetic is the name that the Romans used 2000 years ago for the people living in what is today Switzerland. The country code of Switzerland is still CH, Confederatio Helvetica in Latin. In English, that's the Helvetic Confederation, or if you will, the Swiss Confederation. The problem is that one of my native languages is Swedish. We have a word, helvetisk. It means hellish. So when I see Helvetic Airways, I see hellish airways. But don't worry, this flight was not that bad. I just cannot process the name like a normal person. The lavatory is good enough for a regional jet. It's obviously not big, but it's new and in good condition. The water works with a button instead of a sensor. There are handles to hold on to and almost enough space to turn around comfortably. And you can stand upright, unlike the previous version of the Embraer E195 that I flew a few days earlier to Vienna. As we land and taxi at the Zurich airport, let's hear a few more examples of that spooky whale sound. Even though it's perfectly safe, Embraer is working on eliminating it in future deliveries. I will give you my recommendation in just a moment. If you got massive value from this video, there are many ways that you can support this channel, Markus Travels. For free, you can hit the like button or the subscribe button to get more quality travel reviews. And if you want to make a small donation, use the super thanks button right here on YouTube. Thank you for all your support. So would I recommend you fly the new Embraer E195 E2? If you can choose between a flight operated on the E2 or the previous generation of the E-Jet, then definitely pick the E2. It is more comfortable because it's quieter, and it's nice to know that it burns less fuel. But if the choice is between the E2 and the Airbus A220, for example, the Airbus A220 is the clear winner. The A220 is much more comfortable thanks to a bigger cabin, plus it has those big, beautiful windows. Learn more about the A220 by clicking or tapping the screen right here. That's my review of an airline that operates only the A220. So check out that video now. Thank you very much for watching. Markus Travels, and I will see you in the next video.